Dear friends, welcome back to the second week of the course Digital Marketing Strategy. In the second week, we will be discussing about how to develop the digital marketing strategy. So, what would be the process of digital marketing strategy? What would be the various models? What would be the different frameworks that we adopt in order to frame, in order to make the strategy for our digital marketing? So, in the very first lecture, we are going to discuss a very important aspect, that is consumer journey. So, however, it is something which is very contemporary and it is something which is very new, but it is of utmost importance when we talk about digital marketing. So, let us start and try to understand what consumer journey is. So, before we actually jump to discuss what the consumer journey is, let us have a brief theme or foundation of what is actually digital marketing strategy. So, we must all be aware about that what actually marketing strategy refers to. So, marketing strategy refers to the comprehensive plan that the marketers follow in order to achieve the marketing goals of the organization, keeping in mind the competitors' move. So, again I will be discussing marketing strategy refers to the comprehensive plan that the marketers follow in order to achieve the marketing goals of the organization, keeping in mind the competitors' move. So, here the competitors' move, this is very important to understand. So, there is difference between marketing plan and marketing strategy. So, planning is to define the comprehensive blueprint of what marketing activities has to be done, but when we say strategy, so it connotes a different meaning. So, strategy, as you must be aware, that it has a genesis from the military. So, it was used in defense, where strategy meant that how your moves would be keeping in mind the enemy's move. So, you have to keep a track on the enemy's move and accordingly you have to plan for your own move. So, that was a defense strategy. So, strategy, the marketers adopted this word from the defense only, and they have adopted this in the marketing tactics, where strategy again refers to the same foundational meaning, which refers to the comprehensive plan keeping in mind the competitors' move. So, that is the thin line difference between the marketing plan and marketing strategy. So, when we talk about digital marketing strategy, so what is digital marketing strategy? So, again it is a specific action plan that guides the marketers to effectively use the digital technology, the media and the data to achieve the marketing objectives of the organization. And what could be the marketing objectives of any organization? Primarily, it could be to increase the online visibility, to enhance the brand image, to drive more sales, and there could be many other marketing objectives. So, primarily when we talk about digital marketing, we specifically talk about online visibility, how to increase the online visibility, how to drive the website traffic towards our company's landing page, and how to enhance the brand image, because ultimately all these are going to be converted into the purchase, right? So, again every marketer should understand that any digital marketing should aim to ensure that there is a effective integration of digital with traditional marketing. So, it is very important to understand. So, digital marketing should go in consensus with the traditional marketing. So, in any company we need to understand that there are traditional marketing activities also which are going side by side. So, when a company goes digital, it is not always advisable that we should focus only on digital strategy. Rather, it should be developed in such a way that it is in consensus with the digital, and traditional marketing should be in consensus. So, that is what here we are talking about. The aim should be to ensure the integration of digital and traditional marketing activities in order to achieve the overall business objectives. So, moving ahead is what an effective digital marketing should be. So, what are the key characteristics that the digital marketing should possess in order to it to be an effective one? So, first one, it should align with the existing business strategy and the traditional marketing that we were just talking about. So it should align with the existing business strategy. There could be many other business strategies as well. So it could be finance strategy, it could be account strategy, it could be sales strategy, it could be human resource strategy. So there could be different business strategies as well. So the digital marketing strategy, it should on one hand should align with the existing business strategy, as well as it should align with the traditional marketing strategy of the business. So that is the first criteria that a digital marketing should have. Then it should be based on clear objectives of the business. This is very important. It should be based on the clear objectives of the business and the brand development. So there should be, for any digital marketer, there should be proper clarity of objectives in his mind. So what is the objective of the business? What are the organizational goals? So digital marketing strategy should be framed in such a way that it should be in consensus with the organizational goal. So we will discuss in the upcoming lectures, we will be discussing the process of developing marketing strategy. The very first step is to set the goals. So what should be the goals of the company? What should be the goal of the business? So that should be very much clear. Moving ahead, again, this is very important to understand that there should be optimal blend of online and offline communication tools. So as we know, there are different online and offline communication tools. For example, display advertisement. Display advertisement are being done offline as well as online also. So there should be an optimal blend. The company should understand, the company should measure its own capabilities, its own marketing capabilities, and it should understand its constraint, and accordingly should decide the optimal mix or optimal blend of online and offline communication tools that has to be adopted for digital marketing strategy. Also, the digital marketing should be such that it should provide differential value proposition to the customers. So it should add value to the customers. So every stage this should add certain value to the customers, and what value is being added should be communicated to them. So for example, if you are adding value but the customer is not aware of the value proposition that is being added, so in that case you are not effectively communicating the advantages of your product or services. So there should be value addition, there should be differential value propositions, and the same should be effectively communicated also to the consumers. Then it should manage the online customer life cycle. As we all know that customer, it goes through a life cycle. Any product and services, it also goes through different life cycles. So whatever life cycles a customer is going through, or whatever life cycles the product or service is going through, accordingly you must be aware about the product life cycle. It goes from like this, right? Introduction, maturity, growth. There is a introduction, then there is a maturity, then there is a growth, then there is a maturity, then decline, right? So in this way the product, it moves to certain life cycle. So for every stage there has to be different strategies. So whatever customer life cycle, how customer is moving through his life cycle, that should have a different strategy. The product should be different. No, we should have different strategy for different segments, and there comes the importance of segmentation also, right? So also we need to understand that it should support the consumer journey through the buying process. So as we were just discussing about consumer journey, so whenever a customer is actually buying a product, he goes through a different stage, he goes through a different path to ultimately buying a product. So while he is going through a path, so that is basically his consumer journey. So at every stage or every point of the consumer journey, there should be some strategy to assist the customer. There should be some strategy to ensure that there is certain differential value proposition is attached to that. So that is what highlights the consumer journey, right? So if the digital marketing strategy have to be effective, then it should follow, it should have these features, it should have these characteristics. So as we are talking about the journey, so digital marketing strategy is typically the tactics that the marketer undertake while consumer moves through various stages of decision journey and value journey. So in this lecture we will be talking about two different journeys. However, there are different literature which talks about different journeys and they have different models for it. So we will be also discussing the famous decision journeys, consumer journeys, and in this we will be discussing about two prominent models. One is consumer decision journey and one is consumer value journey. So both we are going to discuss in this lecture. So what they are, what key features they have, we are going to discuss it. So first is consumer decision journey. So there is a wonderful quote by Steve Jobs which says that you have got to start with the customer experience and work back towards the technology, not the way round. So the point here he wants to make that the company should keep in mind the customer experience. So whatever the company is doing, that should be customer centric. So keeping in mind what the customer experience would be and what the customer is going to experience, and accordingly they have to work backwards and they have to design the technology, and it should not be the other way around, right? So this is very important to understand. So what is consumer journey? So consumer journey refers to series of experiences that a customer comes across that help them in their purchase decisions. So as I have said, while making the purchase decisions, the consumer, it goes through a series of experiences. Now these series of experiences have to be very satisfying for the consumer. It should be such that it adds a value proposition. So I was talking about the series of experiences that the consumer experience and while making the purchase decision. Now this series of experiences should be very positive, should be very, it should add some value to the consumer. So if it is so, then you can actually convert that intention into purchase, right? So in digital marketing also, this term is commonly, it refers to describe the touch points which influence consumers as they access different types of contents through different communication media channels when selecting product and services. So when the consumer is actually selecting any product and services, he or she goes through a series of experiences and he or she passes through, the consumer passes through various touch points. So what is touch points? Touch points are the points where the consumer and businesses they meet. For example, there is a display advertisement. So in display advertisement, the company is giving certain advertisement and the consumer is watching it. So that is one touch point. Also, for example, interactive TV. So all there could be different touch points also, right? So at different touch points, the digital marketing, it should influence the consumer, and these touch points, basically this consumer goes through various path, and while going through this path, actually he gets to experience different touch points, and the company should ensure that those touch points is actually and effective and helping the consumer in making the purchase decisions. So there are different models, there are different framework which talks about the digital marketing strategy, which talks about how the consumer journey is. So consumer journey map, consumer journey path, or consumer decision journey, there could be different literature are there which talks about this. So specifically the main key idea behind all of these are that how a customer goes through a series of experiences, or what are the various stages through which the consumer goes to finally purchase a product. So there is a very popular model, that is AIDA model. The AIDA model, it describes the 4 stages a consumer goes through before making a purchase decision, and this acronym AIDA stands for awareness, interest, desire and action. And this is very popular model, and till today there have been many modifications, there have been many additions, many modifications have been done in order to accommodate the dynamics of marketing strategies, and but again it is very popular, and still today it is being very popularly used. So this model was introduced by businessman Elias St. Elmo Lewis in the late 19th century, wherein he put across his idea about marketing funnel that maps a consumer's journey and gradually developing relationship with the company. So how the consumer's journey starts with the touch points, how he gets to know the company, and it develops into purchase, finally purchase, and gradually develops to the relationship with the company. So this is a very important model, and it is also being called as the marketing funnel. So this is the AIDA model. So first is awareness, second is interest, third is desire, and the last is action. So all these are self-explanatory, but I will take few minutes to explain this. Awareness is when the consumer gets to know about the product. So that is the very first stage where he gets the exposure about the product and services. He gets to know about the brand. He gets to know about the company. So that is the very point where he actually comes across the product and services. So next is interest, when he actually develops an interest towards the product. Desire is when he actually have intention that this product is good, while making many comparisons, while reading many reviews and so on. So he develops a desire to buy, and then desire that converts into action, that is basically the purchase. So that is the fundamental classic AIDA model. And there have been, as I've said, there have been many changes, there have been many modification being done in this AIDA model. So wherein there is very popular model which talks about it basically groups these four stages into three groups. So they call it top of the funnel, then interest and desire as jointly is basically consideration, and it is the middle of the funnel, and the last action is basically purchase. So the current or contemporary models or marketing funnel, it talks about awareness, that is tofu, top of the funnel. Then it talks about consideration, that is middle of the funnel. Consideration is basically interest and desire towards a product. So having an interest and having a desire is two different aspects, right? So desire is when you actually also have the ability to pay, right? So interest is like you are interested in the product, but desire is when there is a need, you develop a need of the product. So that is basically desire. So if you remember, demand is in economics, it is explained as demand is a desire backed by ability and willingness to pay, right? So here it is a marketing. In marketing, with in desire we mean basically a consideration about the product. So consideration, it is based on various market research, it is based on various various reviews and so on. So that is consideration. And action is actually when the consumer actually purchase the product. So it is a bottom of the funnel. Then this is very interesting diagram which is proposed by Dave and Fiona in their book Digital Marketing Strategy, which is published in 2016 by Pearson publication. And this is very interesting, and in terms of digital marketing it is being said. So if you see here, it talks about awareness, consideration and purchase, and then again there are various communication channels, communication media, and this dotted line, these explains how the consumers moves from one point to the last point, right? So for example, the very first point is the social discovery. So when a customer is actually get to know about the product through certain video or micro content on any social media, for example Facebook, LinkedIn or Snapchat or say Instagram. So he get to know about the product. So that is the awareness stage. So he digs more information about it. So that is search. All this is happening out of the store, right? So out of the store he goes and he search for the product. Probably he might visit the website of the product and he might be routed to the company's landing page through the social media apps, right? We have different links of the product. We might visit the website, we try to understand what is the price, or probably we search on various shopping apps. So we keep on searching about more about the product. And then also we go, as I've said, the online value proposition, it drives to visit to the website based on the content and the offer. So sometimes in various social media apps we see that there are 50% discount, or say buy one get one free on certain product, and that actually drives us towards the website of the company, and we actually visit the website of the company through some computer or through mobile. And then there could be once we visit the site, then it is added to the cookie pool. So this is very interesting. You must be aware that it is added to the cookie pool, and whenever, so that is why when you search for certain product on Google or something, or you see certain product on Facebook or something, then if you go to the visit the site, then it starts popping up at every social media apps that you are actually accessing. It will pop up on Facebook page, LinkedIn page, say Twitter page. It will also pop up as ad in the YouTube. So all this is happening because of the cookie pool. So that is how it keeps on popping. Then sometimes they also ask for your number, and you will see the local ads or trial coupon that is being sent on your phone through SMS. Then you can actually visit the store that and you experience the digital communication in store. Digital communication, that is the interactive display, and in interactive display you can actually see the product. You can try the product on your by wearing the VR device and so on. So that you can get to know more about the features, about different you can also get the quote of the product. So all this you can experience through the interactive display offers, right? So when you are convinced, this is the journey. So if you see, this is the journey which you go through, and when you are finally convinced, you actually either you can buy the product online through your smartphone, or you can actually buy the product from the store. So this is the very crucial point. This is what the company looks for, because this is something which generates the revenue for the organization. So the business doesn't end here, rather it moves on. That what is your experience, right? So they will ask you, they will encourage for many other promotional packages they will offer you on your mobile phones. Probably they will encourage more interaction by sending you the different greetings, different messages, or greeting you on your birthday and website and so on, right? And also they might ask you to subscribe their offers, email offers and bulletins and brochures. So that is a part of email remarketing, right? So email remarketing, you can subscribe for their brochures and on newsletters, so they can keep on sending you the offers and such things. So and ultimately the loop is closed when you share your personal experience and other things on the social media that you have used this product. That actually leads to word of mouth marketing, right? So this is again very important for any business. So this is a very comprehensive diagram which describes how the consumer moves from the point of awareness till the purchase and thereafter, that is post purchase. So again, this is very important model given by the McKinsey, which specifically talks about the loyalty loop. So again, this is very simple but again very prominent model. The first stage is the initial consideration set, where the customer compares different brands, different products, and after that many brands, they might enter into the consideration set or they may exit the consideration set, and this happens till the point of purchase. And ultimately the customer that he purchases he selects the brand and he makes the purchase. So ultimately he purchased the product here, and there is a post purchase experience. The company tries to keep engaged, right? So here it is very important to engage the consumer. So consumer engagement becomes very important. So if the consumer is not engaged, probably he might forget about the product. So that creates the loyalty loop, which leads to again purchase. So sometimes, and there could be some certain unique thing happening or certain unique exposure or certain unique touch points that might lead to again reconsider for the initial consideration set. So this is how the loyalty loop works. And this is again infinity loop given by the Pedowitz group. Again, it talks about the first stage is unaware, then the customer becomes aware about the product, then he makes consideration by comparing it with different brands, different product, he evaluates different products, and ultimately he makes a decision to purchase it. So once the customer is being acquired, that is customer acquisition happens, then the company thinks about customer expansion. So there is onboarding and then adoption and value realization. The customer, it realizes the value and he becomes loyal towards the product, and once he becomes a loyal customer, he advocates about the product to other customers, that lead to further more customer acquisition, and this thing happens on infinite basis. So that is why it is called an infinity pool. So the process to get and keep and grow the right customer is an ongoing infinite process. So customer centric organizations knows this. They focus on lifetime relationship with the customer far beyond the initial equation. So one time purchase is not important, rather repeated purchase is more important. So the company tries to build lifetime relationship with the customers. So this is the last slide which talks about customer value journey. So customer value journey, again it is similar to the stages that the customer goes through. So it is a 8-step path that the customer goes through. As they discover the brand, they build the relationship with the brand and the company, and they become buyers, and ultimately they becomes the raving fans of the brand. So first they become aware about the product, then the companies, they engage with the customers and they make sure that they subscribe to the email marketing, they subscribe to the brochures, newsletter, and that will lead to finally conversion. So purchase happens here, and in the meantime they will keep on exciting the customers by giving different other offers, different promotional offers. So after converting some, you have to keep on engaging the customers so that they do not forget you, and then again you can lead them to purchase, right? So there could be certain exciting some trigger points or some promotional benefits that you give them, and then they ascend to advocate your product. So they becomes your promoters, though they talk about they talk good things about your product and they promote it to others, so that other may also get affected by, or they may get influenced by them, and they also become the customer of the organization. So this is how the consumer value journey. So every stage there is certain value proposition is being added to the customers. So that is all for today. So I hope you must have enjoyed. Thank you so much.